Hello, I am back on your screen. I feel like it's been a really long time since I've been here, but I was driving home today and I had this incredible urge that I had to speak to you. And I do like to type, I love to blog, that's in my heart and soul, but sometimes I feel like I need to speak to get what I want to say across, if that makes sense. So I literally am still in my wet togs. I don't have pants on, just bikini bottoms, and I dropped my daughter at my mum's, and on the way home I knew that I had to get here and sit down and talk to you about this because it's really opened something up in me and I feel like I need to share it. So first and foremost, get comfortable. Thank you for being here and for watching this and for caring enough about what I have to say to want to change your own life, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make your life better. So what I wanted to talk to you about first was feminine connection. And this may come as a real shock to you, or you might not be surprised at all, depending on how deeply you can read other people. But I have had a real issue in the past with female relationships and with connecting with other females. And I wanted to bring this up because I feel like if I've felt this way and a bit alone and like it's difficult to make friends and to create those connections, then I know that you would have felt it as well. So, I'm glad you've been drawn here to listen to this, but I'm going to start in the middle because it'll make more sense if I go back and forth. But basically, at the end of last year, I was invited to go to an event held by the girls who run the beautiful jewellery company Violet Grey. And at that event, I turned up and I was terrified because I didn't really know anyone. Like, I sort of knew people and I sort of online new people. The beauty of my business is you make a lot of connections on the internet, and so I was a bit out of my comfort zone because I didn't sort of have a wingman or like a buddy who was going to be there and support me through this awkward event for me. But the whole point of the event was female connections and sort of soulful networking, I suppose, is what I got from it. But at the end of the evening, we all had to say sort of, I can't remember exactly what the question was, but it was something like you had to open up and be a bit vulnerable and maybe speak about what you got from the event. And it was one of those moments where you kind of rise up out of yourself and you see yourself doing something, and like the you that's flying above is going, be quiet, what are you doing? You're making a fool of yourself, because I'm sitting there and it's my turn to speak. And I start blurting out to these women how I am terrified of females. Terrified. And it's ridiculous because I work solely with females. I only coach females and I absolutely love it. And, on top of that, my business is based around feminine connection, and I support women in business. I mentor women who are starting their own businesses. So for me to sort of come out and say that I'm terrified of other females, it's a bit of a strange comment to come out of me, but it did, and I couldn't stop it. And driving home that night, I was sort of, awkwardly on the verge of tears in my car, thinking, oh my God, I've just made a fool of myself. These women are going to think I'm crazy. But through all those thoughts, I sort of went, okay, well, that came from somewhere. It wasn't just made up. It wasn't just a random thought that meant nothing. It came from somewhere. That was something I was really feeling, and I felt that I needed to share. So since that event and over the past few months, I've sort of been thinking a lot about, myself and connecting with females and my friendships. And in the past, I have felt like I'm difficult to open up. I find it difficult to open up to other women, and even my closest friends, like my school friends who I still talk to and I talk to daily and I love more than life itself, even they have occasionally said to me, you're never 100% real, which to me is kind of terrifying, because I come on to here, you know, I come onto your screen or you read my words and that is 100% me. But to me, that's so not terrifying because I'm sort of doing it alone. It's a little bit easier. And there have also been times when I've cried, you know, to my husband, and, you know, I've said to him that I feel really alone and, you know, why don't people like me, and how come I wasn't invited to do that with those people, and how come, you know, I don't have more people to invite to my birthday dinner or something along those lines. And he's always just, you know, kind of come up with excuses and told me that I'm crazy and that, you know, I have my tight-knit group of girls that I love, but, you know, for me, looking out, I see all these girls with huge groups of friends and so many people supporting them through things, and I kind of felt like, well, I've only got, you know, 3 or 4 like good friends, and I felt like I didn't really have anything else. So to sort of break it down for you, I've always had this insecurity around females. I've always had this sort of fear of rejection, and it's kind of almost ridiculous because I was never afraid of rejection in love. I always felt really worthy. I always felt like I deserved a great husband and that I deserved a great mate, and I would find the right person for me, and I was never scared of being dumped or being told I wasn't right for someone. I always had this inner knowing that my man was somewhere, and when I would find him, he would accept me and he would grow with me and nurture me, and that all happened because in my own heart I felt really worthy of love. But I've never felt worthy of friendships or real feminine connection. And when it does come into my life, I'm really hesitant at first, but it kind of takes the other person to have to push to get in and to really get to know me and to really get me to open up. And that's not fair, that if you know, think that I'm worthy of your friendship, you have to really push to get me to be your friend. You know what I mean? And on the other end, here I am thinking, I really, really, really want more female friends. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. Basically, I figured out that I didn't feel worthy of females. And I can pinpoint it down to a moment in school where a little girl in grade 1 called Laura told me that I couldn't sit with her and the girls she was sitting with. And I can remember that moment vividly. I remember the stares. I remember everything about it. And as terrifying as that is for the mothers out there, it can happen that young, that I was in the 1st grade and I was rejected by females. And for the rest of my life, I've been unable to let that go. I've always been really scared that if I open myself up to another female, that I'll get rejected and not ever call me. And I can't help but laugh because I'm so uncomfortable talking about it. But as I said, recently I've sort of been going through a bit of this journey to figure it out, because I am really craving more friends. And I'm really craving not just people to hang out with and go to the beach to and get juice with, but people that I can really connect with on a deeper level and speak about my insecurities and not be scared of being judged. Because I think at the end of the day, that was what it was. I was always petrified of being judged. So I would stick with the people who I sort of knew wouldn't judge me. You know, my close friends from school, I'm super close to my mum. And then the rest of it, I would just confide to my husband because, you know, he loves me so unconditionally that I can tell him, you know, every little part of me and he doesn't bat an eyelid or think it's weird at all. But over these last few months of, you know, soul searching and realizing this block that I had, I've been trying really hard to work on it. And the craziest thing has happened, as it always does, you know, when you work on something and when you start to create that worthiness inside yourself, you call in what you need. And that's exactly what happened. I've been calling in and receiving all these amazing female relationships that are helping me grow as a person even more, and I would like to hope I'm benefiting them. And I went through it with my friend Kate, who I've been really open with this journey with her because she was actually someone who kind of had to, you know, nut through my wall and really get into my soul to become my friend. And I love her forever for that. But we've been talking a lot about it. I've been super open and honest with her, and we worked out the 3 things that needed to happen for me to call in these friendships. And it was, first of all, to love myself unconditionally and to stop judging myself, because I do, we all do, and I have to check myself every day to make sure that I don't. And then the second step was to get really clear on what I wanted out of female friendships and relationships. And then the third step was to take action. And that's where I'm at now. I'm taking action and I'm absolutely loving it. I've suddenly got these women who are just so soulful, and I feel really connected to in a different way than I ever have with, you know, those sort of acquaintances, friendships that come and go. And it's such a great feeling because these are people that I can just 100% be myself around, which is normally, strangely, reserved for times like now. Right now, I feel so comfortable being myself because I'm sitting talking to you through a screen. I don't really have to be worried. I'm very good at putting it out there and then not worrying about judgment or criticism, because I feel like the things that I say are helping people. Whereas with friends and other females, sometimes I can feel like I'm just being judged and not helping. But all of a sudden, over these past few months since I've been doing this work, I really feel that I am worthy, and these people are suddenly being drawn into my life because I can benefit their life in some way, and they are totally benefiting my life in huge ways as well. So for those of you out there who kind of feel a little bit like I feel, I totally get it, you know, and you may look at other bloggers and health coaches and people like me on the outside and we seem like we've got it all together, but then yeah, we got a little bit of crazy too, where we don't think we're worthy of friendships. But that's the moment where you have to turn it around, figure out what it is that's going on with you, why you're rejecting something it is that you feel you need, and then work on it, which is exactly what I've been doing over the last few months. So I hope that if anyone is feeling the way I am, I mean, God, drop a comment under here, you know, start off by being a little bit vulnerable, open up about it. If it's something a little bit deeper, please get in touch with me for one-on-one coaching. I love coaching women. It really lights me up. I love the fact that I can help women come out of their shell and really become the people they want to become through their health, their nutrition, you know, adjusting their relationships and communication. That's my passion. It's where my soul lies. But if you are on the Gold Coast, or if you live in Brisbane, or you're a Byron babe, I have an event coming up with my good friend Kate Cattle, who I was speaking about before, and we're going to talk about all of this stuff. We're going to go deeper into the stuff that I've been doing to call in these new females into my life and help you to do the same thing. So if you are in the area, I really hope I'll see you there. I can't wait to give everyone who's coming a big fat cuddle and connect with you all in a way that I probably wouldn't have been able to 6 months ago. But I hope you've had a beautiful day. Thank you for listening to me rant again. And I will see you at the Gratitude Project. Mwah.